Getting around in a foreign city can be tough, especially when signs aren't in your language and announcements are fast, unclear, or non-existent. For English learners, this kind of situation is all too familiar. You want to ask for help, but you're not confident enough. You think you understand a word, but you misunderstand the context. These moments feel awkward, but they're powerful teachers. In today's story, you'll follow a traveler who made one small mistake in Hong Kong and ended up with a big language lesson. When Adam landed in Hong Kong, he was ready for adventure. The city's neon lights, high-speed trams, mountain views, and endless energy felt electric. He had only 4 days to explore and wanted to see both the island and the mainland sides of the city. On his second day, Adam decided to visit Tsim Sha Tsui, a famous area across Victoria Harbour. His hostel was near Central Pier on Hong Kong Island, so he planned to take the iconic Star Ferry across the water. Adam had read that the ferry ride was short, cheap, and scenic. It was also supposed to drop him off close to museums, parks, and a great view of the skyline. He checked a map, saw Star Ferry Pier, and headed out confidently. It was early afternoon, and the weather was perfect: warm air, a gentle breeze, and sunlight bouncing off the harbor. When he arrived at the pier, he noticed 2 different signs for ferries. One pointed to Tsim Sha Tsui, and another to Hung Hom. He paused. Both seemed to go to the mainland. Hung Hom sounded familiar, he had read it in a blog about local areas. Thinking it might just be a different stop near Tsim Sha Tsui, Adam shrugged and went with that one. He didn't double-check. The ferry was boarding, and he didn't want to miss it. He scanned his transit card, stepped on board, and took a window seat. The view was incredible. Skyscrapers zipped past, and boats of all shapes cruised through the busy water. The ferry was clean, calm, and nearly empty. It took about 15 minutes, longer than he expected. When it docked, Adam grabbed his small backpack and stepped off with confidence. He quickly noticed something was off. There were no tourists. No signs in English. No fancy shopping areas or museums. The buildings were mostly residential towers, and the streets were quiet. He walked around a bit, hoping to spot something familiar, but the area felt completely foreign. He pulled out his phone, opened a map, and zoomed in. He wasn't in Tsim Sha Tsui. He was more than 2 kilometers away, in a part of Kowloon he hadn't researched at all. The mistake hit him. He had taken the ferry to Hung Hom, not Tsim Sha Tsui. That small decision cost him time and orientation. Adam felt a little embarrassed. It wasn't a big problem, just a detour, but he wasn't sure how to get back. There was no Star Ferry at Hung Hom going the other way. He needed to use the MTR subway system or walk to the next ferry terminal. Signs were mostly in Cantonese, and the maps at the station confused him. He tried asking a security guard nearby, pointing at the map and saying, "Excuse me, how do I get to Tsim Sha Tsui?" The guard stared blankly for a second, then smiled and said, "MTR, red line, 2 stop," while pointing down a street. It wasn't the clearest instruction, but it helped. Adam thanked him, walked to the MTR entrance, and after scanning his card and double-checking the route, finally arrived in the area he originally wanted. The whole thing took over an hour. When he finally stepped out onto the Tsim Sha Tsui promenade and looked across the harbor toward where he had started, Adam laughed to himself. He could literally see his hostel from where he stood. A 15-minute ferry had turned into a 1-hour urban maze. Still, He gains something valuable, new English expressions like, which ferry goes to, how many stops, excuse me, I think I'm lost, and, can you help me find? He learned that reading maps in a hurry leads to confusion, and that locals, even with limited English, are often helpful if you keep your questions simple and polite. He never forgot the word hung hom after that. It stuck with him, not just as a place on the map, but as a reminder to slow down and check twice, especially when traveling in a new place. This story is more than just a travel mix-up, it's packed with real English you can use. From asking directions to understanding location names, this kind of experience teaches you natural conversation, fast thinking, and how to stay calm when things don't go as planned. So next time you're reading signs, looking at maps, or asking for help, remember Adam's story. A wrong ferry might take you off course, but it can still bring you closer to real language learning. If this story helped you pick up new phrases or made you smile, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to LingTrack, and share your own travel mistake in the comments below. Every wrong turn is a new word waiting to be learned.